Ye Xuan leaves Canglan Academy and heads toward Ning Kingdom, knowing that Cangmu Academy has turned the secret realm into a deadly trap. With Yunqi, Bai Ze and Ji Anzhi by his side, he enters enemy territory while drunken immortal tower Ning Kingdom. And even Ning Kingdom begin making their own choices from the shadows. But Ye Xuan is no longer calm. After Ye Lian is taken, something inside him begins to change. His sword intent grows strange, his killing aura deepens, and every enemy who stands in his way becomes a target. Now inside the secret realm, assassins, geniuses, and hidden experts are waiting to claim the bounty on his head. But Ye Xuan has only one goal: find Ye Lian and bring her home. Now let us follow the next developments in The First Sword God, Episode 18. At the foot of Canglan Mountain, Ye Xuan suddenly stopped. Standing before him were Yunqi, Bai Ze, and Ji Anzhi. Ye Xuan said in a deep voice, "This is my matter. You do not need to get involved." Yunqi immediately sounded displeased. Hey. How can you say something like that? If you say that, then it means you do not treat us as brothers. Ye Xuan still wanted to say something, but Yunqi suddenly turned serious and cut him off. Stop overthinking it. Ye Lian is not only your younger sister, she is also ours. After saying this, he patted Ye Xuan's shoulder a few times. Do not waste words, let us go. Ye Xuan looked at the three of them, then nodded. A moment later, the four of them boarded the flying ship. They headed for Ning Kingdom. The moment Ye Xuan and the others boarded the flying ship, an old man suddenly appeared before them. He bowed slightly toward Ye Xuan and said, "Young Master Yi, this old man is the steward of the flying ship. Young Master, you may call me Steward Lai." He glanced around and continued, "There are 4 of you aboard this time. You may rest assured regarding safety, orders have come from above. Experts have been stationed in every direction. In addition, our 9th Tower Master is secretly following nearby. If Cangmu Academy tries to launch a sneak attack, our drunken immortal tower will be the first to refuse." Hearing Steward Lai's words, shock appeared in the eyes of Yunqi and the others. The dominance of drunken immortal tower was not the least bit inferior to Cangmu Academy. And yet now, drunken immortal tower's attitude toward Ye Xuan truly seemed like an attempt to curry favor. Ye Xuan cupped his fist toward Steward Lai. "I will remember the kindness of your help this time." Hearing this, the corner of Steward Lai's mouth lifted into a brilliant smile. Young Master Yi, the Tower Master, also gave instructions. "Right now, we are investigating Cangmu Academy's plot this time. Before the 4 of you arrive in Ning Kingdom, we will give Young Master a satisfactory answer." Ye Xuan nodded lightly. "Thank you," Steward Lai smiled. "Please rest early. If you need anything, simply give the order." After saying this, he bowed slightly and withdrew. At this moment, Yunqi looked toward Ye Xuan. "Are you the illegitimate son of drunken immortal tower's owner?" Ye Xuan shook his head. Illegitimate son. Of course he knew why drunken immortal tower was trying so hard to please him. It was all because of the mysterious woman. Ye Xuan looked at the 3 of them. "You should all rest early." After saying this, he turned and left. Ji Anzhi watched Ye Xuan's back, then followed him. Yunqi remained where he was. He glanced at Ye Xuan's retreating back and sighed softly. "This guy. Luckily back then I did not join Cangmu Academy. This Cangmu Academy is truly damn despicable." Bai Ze nodded in agreement. "Indeed despicable." Yunqi looked at Bai Ze. "Hey, big guy. This trip may be one where 10 die and none return." Bai Ze glanced at Yunqi. "Dying together with you. I am somewhat hesitant, damn it." The moment Ye Xuan entered his room, he suddenly turned around. Not far in front of him was Ji Anzhi. Ji Anzhi walked up to Ye Xuan and said, "Cangmu Academy does not dare hurt the little girl." Ye Xuan nodded. "I know. Cangmu Academy definitely did not dare kill Ye Lian, because once they killed her, they would no longer have any leverage. At the same time, they would suffer old Ji's mad revenge. Right now, Cangmu Academy did not dare fight until the fish died and the net tore. But they also could not allow Ye Xuan to continue growing. If they left Ye Xuan alone, then in the future, Cangmu Academy would fall into even greater danger." Ji Anzhi glanced at Ye Xuan and continued, "Rest well. We will bring her back." Ye Xuan looked at Ji Anzhi and said softly, this trip will definitely be very dangerous. Ji Anzhi looked straight at him. If it were not dangerous, we would not be going. After saying this, she opened the bag she carried with her and took out 2 plain steamed buns, handing them to Ye Xuan. Do not let yourself go hungry, Ye Xuan. A moment later, Ji Anzhi left. Inside the room, Ye Xuan sat on a chair and took out a small wooden figure. The wooden figure looked exactly like Ye Lian. Ye Xuan looked at the wooden figure in his hand. His face was calm and there was no ripple in his eyes, weak. All this time he had felt that he was very strong. At least among the younger generation, perhaps only in Xianxia could fight him. To say he was not proud at all would be a lie. This time, cruel reality had told him that he was actually extremely weak enough that he could not withstand a single blow. Like Xianxia and that black-clothed person had taken Ye Lian away, and what about him? He could only stand there and watch. If not for old Ji, he would not even have had the chance to watch. He did not blame old Ji, he did not blame anyone. He only blamed himself for being too weak. He was too weak. Ye Xuan's eyes slowly closed. If one was weak, one had no right to speak. If one was weak, one could only allow others to bully them. If one was weak, one could only endure every injustice and humiliation. Ye Xuan clenched both fists tightly. Fresh blood flowed from his palms. Inside his body, the Xianxia sword trembled slightly. It trembled more and more violently, until Ye Xuan's entire body began trembling. No one knew how long passed before a faint will once again began radiating around his body. At this time, a white sheet of paper flew out from the second floor. On the paper was a sword. Around the sword was sword intent, and behind the sword intent was an enormous question mark. Clearly, it was asking what kind of sword intent this was, the imperial capital. No one knew who had spread the news that Cangmu Academy had kidnapped Ye Lian, but before long, nearly everyone in the imperial capital knew. In an instant, the entire imperial capital boiled over. Anger. That was the mood of everyone in the imperial capital. Originally, they did not like Canglan Academy. Or rather, they only liked the strong. And there was no doubt that compared with Cangmu Academy, Canglan Academy was the weaker side. Because of that, at the beginning, nearly everyone had stood on Cangmu Academy's side. In this world, people naturally admired the strong, but after that incident, especially after Cangmu Academy invited people from Tang Kingdom, it could be said that the people of the imperial capital had come to despise them to the extreme. One had to know that Ji Kingdom and Tang Kingdom had fought countless times. How many people of Ji Kingdom had died beneath the iron hooves of Tang cavalry? The ordinary citizens were especially affected. Most of them had relatives who had been killed by Tang Kingdom. There were also the soldiers in the imperial capital, who knew how many of their good friends had died at the hands of Tang soldiers. Yet Cangmu Academy had actually invited people from Tang Kingdom to deal with Ye Xuan. And Ye Xuan was a person of Ji Kingdom. Because of this, countless people chose to stand on Ye Xuan's side without even needing to think. However, the one they faced was Cangmu Academy. Most people were angry but dared not speak. And now, in order to kill Ye Xuan, Cangmu Academy had kidnapped his younger sister, Ye Lian. And she was only an ordinary little girl. Toward Cangmu Academy's actions, the entire imperial capital was furious. This time, people dared to speak. For a while, throughout the streets and alleys of the imperial capital, everyone discussed Cangmu Academy. Whenever Cangmu Academy was mentioned, not a single person failed to show disdain. It could be said that Cangmu Academy's reputation had become completely rotten. Kang Mountain, Cangmu Hall, who was it? A furious roar suddenly rang through the great hall. In the main seat of the hall, like Xianxia's face was ashen. Who is manipulating public opinion in the imperial capital? Below him, Lai Tu stood and replied, it should be Drunken Immortal Tower. It may also include the Ji Kingdom royal family. Like Xianxia's eyes immediately turned cold. They have no reason to stand on Canglan Academy's side. Everyone looked at Like Xianxia. Like Xianxia slowly closed his eyes. Lai Tu, have you investigated Ye Xuan's background clearly? Lai Tu nodded, he comes from King City, bastard. Like Xianxia suddenly roared, How could a tiny king city possibly cultivate a sword cultivator? And a great sword cultivator at that. Before that young man entered Canglan Academy, he was already a sword cultivator. That means he brought sword techniques with him when he entered Canglan Academy. And after he returned from Two Realm City, his strength suddenly increased to the point where even Fen Ju was killed by his sword. How could someone like this possibly be ordinary? Are all of you in charge of intelligence nothing but useless sacks of rice? Lai Tu's face turned pale. Right now, inside Cangmu Academy, he could be said to be the person most disliked by everyone. Back then. If his eyes had been a little sharper, and he had accepted Ye Xuan into Cangmu Academy, then Cangmu Academy would have been glorious for countless more years. And Canglan Academy would have died so completely that not even a trace of hope remained. But now Canglan Academy was filled with hope, while Cangmu Academy's situation grew worse and worse. All of this was because Cangmu Academy had abandoned that young man. That young man who had once sincerely wanted to join Cangmu Academy. Back then, Cangmu Academy had mocked Ye Xuan as someone unqualified to step through their gates. But now, the entire imperial capital was laughing at them. Mocking the fact that the trash Cangmu Academy had rejected had cut down their strongest student. Suddenly, Lai Xuankang said enough. What is past cannot be changed. There is no need to keep obsessing over it. After saying this, he swept his gaze across the people in the hall. What we need to do now is unite as one. No matter who stands behind Ye Xuan, no matter what his background is, he must die. You all know very clearly how Canglan Academy declined back then. Everyone in the hall nodded in agreement. At this time, absolutely no internal problems could occur within Cangmu Academy. Lai Xuankang turned to look at Vice Head Mo Song, who stood not far away. How are the preparations? Mo Song said in a deep voice, everything is mostly ready. On Ning Kingdom's side, their ruler Chuoba Yan has already agreed to our request. When the time comes, she will cooperate with us. Lai Xuankang nodded lightly. And the academy on the Great Cloud Empire's side. Mo Song hesitated for a moment, then answered, they are asking for a heaven rank martial skill. If we agree they will send people from their academy, agree to it. Lai Xuankang suddenly said if they can kill Ye Xuan. Not only will we give them one low-grade heaven-rank martial skill, we will also give them a low-grade heaven-rank cultivation method. In addition, we will gift them one bright-rank spiritual weapon. Hearing this, everyone in the hall froze. Heaven rank, that was priceless. Cangmu Academy had been passed down for so many years, yet in total, it had fewer than 5 heaven-rank martial skills. And 3 of them were incomplete manuals. As for bright-rank spiritual weapons, the entire Cangmu Academy only had 6. And those 6 items were things Cangmu Academy had accumulated over nearly 1,000 years. Yet now they were going to give one away. Everyone felt great pain. Lai Xuankang looked coldly at them and said, if Ye Xuan does not die, he will certainly lead Canglan Academy upward. At that time, our Cangmu Academy may very well follow the old road of Canglan Academy. Items lost can be obtained again. But if Cangmu Academy is gone, then all those things will no longer have any meaning. Everyone in the hall fell silent. Lai Xuankang looked at Mo Song again. What about the rest? Mo Song said in a deep voice. Aside from the Academy of the Great Cloud Empire, several academies from other countries are also very interested this time. Among them, a few have extremely great reputations. There is also one monster from the martial ranking. In addition, some loose cultivators have come as well. They all know Ye Xuan's strength, so those who dare come are all capable people. I heard several assassin organizations have also sent people. Lai Xuankang closed both eyes and asked, has the underworld sent anyone? Mo Song shook his head, I do not know. Lai Xuankang was silent for a blink, then said, send someone to tell them that if they can kill Ye Xuan, we will also give them a heaven-rank martial skill. No, pass down the order. As long as someone kills Ye Xuan, my Cangmu Academy will reward them with one low-grade heaven-rank martial skill, one low-grade heaven-rank cultivation method, and one low-grade bright-rank spiritual weapon. Mo Song looked at Lai Xuankang and cried out in shock, a reward like that is enough to kill 10 Divine Union Realm experts. Very likely, some old monsters who have lived for many years will also come. Everyone in the hall was dumbfounded. A reward like this for Get Ye Xuan, even if the target were old Jai, there would probably be people tempted by it. Of course, being tempted was one thing. Whether they dared to come was another matter. Like Xuankang's expression turned ferocious. Canglan Academy protects him, so I will make Canglan Academy the enemy of everyone under heaven. Half an hour later, the bounty Cangmu Academy announced for Ye Xuan's head spread out. All surrounding countries boiled over. This reward was truly too terrifying. At this moment, even some mountain forces near Jiang Kingdom were slightly moved. To Realm City inside a military tent. Jiang Jiu looked at the secret report before her for a long time. Finally, she slowly stood and said, "Inform my royal father to send Elder Lin here to take charge." As soon as her words fell, she quickly walked out of the tent and mounted a horse. Behind her, an old man hurriedly said, "Your Highness, you are the commander of an army. How can you leave so casually, you?" Jiang Jiu took out a golden card. This was the card Ye Xuan had given her back then. The money inside had already been transferred away, but she had kept the card all along. Looking at the card in her hand, Jiang Jiu grinned and said, "Since he treated me like this, how can I betray him?" As soon as her words fell, she urged the horse forward and left. Inside a room on the flying ship, Ye Xuan sat cross-legged on the ground. Around him radiated a very strange will. The reason it was called strange was because this will seemed both present and absent, sometimes appearing and sometimes fading. At the entrance to the second floor, a sheet of paper flew before Ye Xuan. On it was still a sword, and behind the sword was an enormous question mark. After a while, Ye Xuan suddenly opened his eyes wide. He looked at the paper before him, then said softly, "I do not know either." After saying this, Ye Xuan stood. The Liangxiu sword inside his body suddenly flew outward. In the next moment, the entire first floor of the World Prison Tower was filled with sword light. Around the Liangxiu sword, aside from faint sword radiance, there was also a will that flickered in and out of existence. At the same time, his compatibility with the sword had reached 99%. Now, he no longer needed to use Kai to control the sword. He could use intent to control it. The sword's speed had increased by more than 5 times. This was true sword control. The flying ship drew closer and closer to Ning Kingdom. Ning Kingdom, Jiang Kingdom, and Tang Kingdom were very close to one another. It could be said that the 3 countries bordered each other, forming a triangular shape. However, Ning Kingdom held an advantage over both Jiang and Tang. In terms of strength, Ning Kingdom was the strongest of the 3. The main reason was that Tang Kingdom and Jiang Kingdom were sworn enemies. Their fighting had never stopped, and wherever there was war, there was loss. Ning Kingdom, however, focused entirely on development. In addition, Ning Kingdom also possessed natural advantages. Around it, mineral resources were extremely abundant. On top of that, Ning Kingdom had no natural enemy. Because of this, its national strength was the greatest among the surrounding countries. Moreover, Ning Kingdom had always maintained a neutral stance, and had never casually joined the conflicts of any country. For this reason, whether it was Jiang Kingdom, Tang Kingdom, or any surrounding country, all wished to befriend them. Early morning. A flying ship slowly approached Ning Kingdom's imperial capital. When it was still about 100 zhang away from the capital, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared before the ship and looked at it coldly. "Do you have a pass?" "A pass." On the deck of the flying ship, Ye Xuan looked toward Ji Anzhi. Ji Anzhi said softly, "No matter whose flying ship it is, if there is no pass, it cannot enter Ning Kingdom. Even Drunken Immortal Tower is no exception." After saying this, she paused for a few breaths, then continued, "Inside Ning Kingdom. The influence of both Drunken Immortal Tower and Cangmu Academy is very low. Because the Ning royal family is extremely powerful. Back then, these 2 forces were almost completely wiped out by Ning Kingdom's #1 expert, Chuoba Fu. Although they were not destroyed in the end. Whenever these 2 forces want to do anything inside Ning Kingdom, they must look at the royal family's expression first. Ji Anzhi's words surprised everyone. One had to know that inside Jiang Kingdom, Drunken Immortal Tower and Cangmu Academy were extremely arrogant and domineering. At this time, Steward Lai suddenly appeared before the middle-aged man. He flicked his finger, and a card appeared before the middle-aged man. The man immediately turned around and vanished. The flying ship continued forward. Before long, the flying ship slowly descended, landing steadily inside Ning Kingdom's imperial capital. On the deck, Steward Lai walked before Ye Xuan and the others and bowed slightly. "Young Master Yi, we have uncovered Cangmu Academy's plot. They have issued a bounty across the surrounding countries. The reward is extremely generous and of very great value. Because of this, many people will come here and enter the secret realm, and not a single one of them will be weak. Their goal is absolutely not to explore the secret realm. They want to surround and kill you." Ye Xuan nodded. "I understand, thank you for informing me." Steward Lai looked at Ye Xuan. Seeing that he remained extremely calm, he hesitated slightly before saying, "Young Master Yi, those who have come here are not simple people. Some are even on the martial ranking." Ye Xuan cupped his fist. "This Ye Xuan will remember your tower's help in my heart. Farewell." After saying this, he and Ji Anzhi's group turned and walked off the flying ship. In only a short while, they disappeared at the end of the road. On the flying ship, Steward Lai turned around. Not far away stood an old man. It was the 9th Tower Master of Drunken Immortal Tower. Steward Lai said in a deep voice, "Tower Master, this time Cangmu Academy has truly spent everything in order to eliminate young Master Yi. We are openly standing on his side. This is indeed somewhat risky." The 9th Tower Master replied calmly, "Risky? If we do not send charcoal in the snow now, then in the future, we will never be able to erase the distance between him and Drunken Immortal Tower." After saying this, he turned his head and looked toward the distant sky. Behind this young man stood a sword immortal, a sword immortal. The entire Qingzhou region had never produced a sword immortal. Even the sword lord of the Kang world could not reach the level of a sword immortal. Forget one branch of Cangmu Academy. Even the main academy of Cangmu Academy would have to bow before a sword immortal. At this moment, Cangmu Academy was madly trying to take revenge on Ye Xuan. Thinking of this, the 9th Tower Master suddenly shook his head and laughed. "Cangmu Academy, why are you all so outstanding?" Ning Kingdom's imperial palace. A woman sat on the dragon throne wearing a golden dragon robe. The robe was not loose. On the contrary, it fit her body perfectly, displaying all the curves of her figure. Her hair was very long and fell casually behind her. At this moment, she was reading a memorial. Her face was calm, and between her brows was an aura of majesty. The woman before them was the ruler of Ning Kingdom, Bai Ze. After a while, Bai Ze closed the memorial. "The person I asked you to find is this Ye Xuan." In a dark corner, a voice rang out. "Reporting to your majesty, yes. We have investigated this person's background clearly. He is from King City of Jiang Kingdom. His parents are unknown. He and his younger sister depended on each other for survival. Before the age of 12, he brought his younger sister and lived miserably inside the Yi family. Later, he was valued by the patriarch of the Yi family and appointed heir of the Yi family." Very quickly, that voice clearly recounted everything related to Ye Xuan, from King City all the way to the imperial capital. Of course, there were a few exceptions. After a while, Bai Ze leaned back against the dragon throne and her eyes slowly closed. "You only found the surface." The voice from the dark corner rang out again. "According to our analysis, behind Ye Xuan, aside from Canglan Academy, there is another expert. It is only that we cannot find out who that person is. However, this person once killed a steward of Drunken Immortal Tower on one of Drunken Immortal Tower's flying ships, yet in the end, he remained safe and sound. Not only that, Drunken Immortal Tower has continued to draw him in. Because of this, we speculate that the person behind him is far from simple. Far from simple." Bai Ze suddenly opened her eyes. Her pupils were cold as blades. At that moment, she thought of the time she had been pinned to a tree by 2 streaks of sword light. Facing those 2 streaks of sword light, she had possessed no ability to resist at all. At this time, the voice rang out again. "This time, Cangmu Academy wants our Ning Kingdom to surround and kill this person. Your Majesty, all members of the Strategic Wisdom Pavilion request that Your Majesty refuse this deal with Cangmu Academy. Chuoba Yan asked calmly why. In the dark corner the voice sounded again. This person went from King City to the Imperial Capital. Then from the Imperial Capital to Two Realms City. And from Two Realms City back to the Imperial Capital. During this period his strength suddenly increased dramatically. Adding the attitudes of the Jiang royal family and drunken immortal tower toward him. We speculate that if there is not a supreme expert behind him, then there must be a supreme force. Our Ning Kingdom should not make an enemy of him. Chuoba Yan calmly looked at Ye Xuan's portrait and said nothing. At that moment a black-clothed figure suddenly appeared outside and knelt on one knee, reporting to Your Majesty. This time, 76 people have come to participate in the encirclement of Ye Xuan. These 76 are all top geniuses and monsters from various countries. Among them 3 are on the martial ranking. Cangmu Academy of the Great Cloud Empire has also sent people here. As for who they are, we have not yet found out. In addition, the underworld has also sent people. As for who they are, we have not yet confirmed it. The underworld, Chuoba Yan frowned. That assassin organization has also come to participate in this event. The black-clothed person said in a deep voice this time, Cangmu Academy's bounty is far too generous. No one can remain unmoved. Chuoba Yan nodded. Withdraw. The black-clothed person turned and left. The palace fell into silence. After a while, Chuoba Yan suddenly said, after the secret realm opens, our Ning Kingdom will not participate in this matter. Notify all aristocratic families of Ning Kingdom and all members of the royal family. No one may participate in the operation to surround and kill Ye Xuan. Violators shall be executed, as commanded. Ning Kingdom's imperial capital. The moment Ye Xuan and the other 3 entered the imperial capital, they were surrounded by a group of people. More than 10 people appeared before Ye Xuan's group. They all wore uniforms, and on the left side of their chests was an emblem, the emblem of Cangmu Academy. On both sides of the street, countless people gathered to watch. Clearly, they were waiting for a spectacle. Opposite Ye Xuan, one student of Cangmu Academy sneered. You must be Ye Xuan of Canglan Academy from Jiang Kingdom. I heard your head is worth a great deal of money. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly vanished, immediately after PFFT. The man who had just spoken fell silent. At the same time, his throat suddenly burst open and blood sprayed everywhere. The expressions of everyone present changed. Ye Xuan did not stop. His palm opened and the Liangxiu sword in his hand suddenly shot out. PFFT, 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 PFFT. In the middle of the field, a streak of sword light moved like a butterfly through a garden, freely weaving back and forth among the Cangmu Academy students. Ah! Miserable screams rang out continuously. At the same time, the heads of Cangmu Academy students dropped to the ground one after another. Not a single one survived. Everyone present froze. Ji Anzhi and the others were also stunned. The 3 of them looked at one another, and solemnity appeared in their eyes. At this moment, the ferocious aura around Ye Xuan was too heavy, too dense. It was as if he had become another person. At that moment, the Liangxiu sword fell before Ye Xuan. A drop of fresh blood slowly dripped from its tip. Ye Xuan recalled the sword and slowly walked into the distance. After only 2 steps, he suddenly stopped, because not far ahead stood a middle-aged man. The man stared at Ye Xuan. This is Ning Kingdom, not Jiang Kingdom. This is not a place where you can throw your weight around. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly vanished. In the next instant, he appeared above the middle-aged man. At the same time, a sword slashed straight down. The sword was extremely fast. The middle-aged man had not even reacted before his body was split in half. Fresh blood sprayed. Ye Xuan withdrew the sword. He wiped the blood that had splattered onto his face and muttered, I only came here to bring my sister home. After saying this, he looked around in a daze. Where is my sister? The people around him wore guarded expressions, and fear showed clearly in their eyes. At that moment, Ye Xuan's expression suddenly became savage. Immediately after, the Liangxiu sword in his hand trembled violently, and a streak of sword light flashed out. Boom. A house not far away collapsed with a roar. This man has gone mad, run. Everyone realized that Ye Xuan's mind was not normal right now. The people around him no longer dared to stand and watch. They fled madly in every direction. Ji Anzhi, Yunqi, and Bai Ze quickly rushed before Ye Xuan. When they saw that Ye Xuan was about to attack again, Yunqi wrapped his arms tightly around his arm. Big brother, wake up, Ye Xuan froze. After a long while he turned his head and looked at Yunqi. What are you doing? Yunqi was dumbfounded. You do not remember what just happened? Ye Xuan frowned. What happened, Yunqi? At this time, Bai Ze pointed toward a corpse not far away. Ye Xuan looked at the corpses around him, then looked toward Yunqi. You did this. Yunqi immediately jumped up. Bandit, is your amnesia real or fake? Ye Xuan frowned even more deeply. I did this, Yunqi and the others. At this moment Ye Xuan shook his head and said, let us go to the secret realm. After saying this, he held his sword and slowly continued forward. Yunqi stood where he was and said in a deep voice, he does not look like he is pretending. Bai Ze and Ji Anzhi nodded. Yunqi sighed. The bond between those two siblings. If that little girl is in mortal danger, I do not know what he will become. Let us go. The three hurriedly chased after him. Right now Ye Xuan was quite abnormal. The news that more than 10 Cangmu Academy students had been killed by Ye Xuan quickly spread to Cangmu Academy of Ning Kingdom. In only a short time, more than 10 Cangmu Academy students rushed out of the academy and headed for Ye Xuan. At a certain intersection, Ye Xuan and the other three suddenly stopped. A group of Cangmu Academy students was charging toward them. Not far away, among the Cangmu Academy students, the young man leading them angrily pointed at Ye Xuan. This is Ning Kingdom, not your Jiang Kingdom. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly vanished from where he stood. Seeing this, the expression of the speaking young man changed instantly. He was about to retreat, but at that moment a streak of sword light slashed toward him with lightning speed. Too fast, PFFT. Before the man could react, his head flew out. Ye Xuan did not stop. With a thought, the Xianxia sword flew out again. With one slash, the body of another Cangmu Academy student was cut in half. Seeing this, the faces of the Cangmu Academy students changed immediately, and they hurriedly retreated. As for Ye Xuan, he did not stop. He madly chased after them, impudent. At that moment, an angry shout suddenly rang out in the air. Immediately after, an invisible pressure enveloped Ye Xuan, a nether passage realm expert. Ye Xuan suddenly raised his head. An old man stood above him, staring fixedly at him. Killing intent filled the old man's eyes. The old man was just about to speak when Ye Xuan's right foot suddenly stomped the ground, and his entire body shot into the sky. One sword decides life and death. In midair, the old man's expression changed instantly. He pressed both hands together and pushed downward. Boom. An invisible ripple spread through the air, but the sword light below easily tore through that ripple. Immediately after PFFT, a blood-covered head fell from the sky. Everyone nearby froze, especially the Cangmu Academy students not far away. They were completely petrified. That old man had been an outer court elder of Cangmu Academy. He was a nether passage realm expert. Yet he had been killed in an instant by a single sword. Yunqi and the other three were also shocked. They knew Ye Xuan was very strong, and they knew his strength was enough to defeat a nether passage realm expert. But they had not expected Ye Xuan to be able to kill a nether passage realm expert instantly. Right now, this fellow wanted to kill everyone he saw, and the more he killed, the more excited he became. They had to find Ye Lian as quickly as possible. Otherwise, Yunqi did not know what Ye Xuan might do. After Yunqi pulled Ye Xuan away, Ye Xuan suddenly looked at him. Stupid Mo, why are you holding me, Yunqi? Half an hour later, the four of them arrived at the Jade Mountain Range. The Jade Mountain Range stretched endlessly, with no end in sight. After Ye Xuan's group entered the vast mountains, Bai Ze suddenly frowned. Something is strange. The four stopped. Bai Ze lay flat on the ground and lightly sniffed the earth. After a while, he turned to look at Ye Xuan and the others. There are human scents. More than one. Yunqi was just about to speak when Ye Xuan suddenly walked forward. do not be afraid. I will be responsible for killing people. You will be responsible for burying them." After saying this, he suddenly accelerated. Seeing this, the expressions of Mo Yunqi and the other two changed. Mo Yunqi hurriedly rushed after him. Bandit Yi, calm down. Ye Xuan's speed was very fast, and right behind him were Mo Yunqi, Bai Ze, and Ji Anzhi. No one knew how long passed before Ye Xuan suddenly stopped. The moment he stopped, Mo Yunqi appeared beside him. Mo Yunqi was about to say something, but Ye Xuan pointed at the ground not far away. Mo Yunqi looked there. Aside from fallen leaves covering the ground, there was nothing. At that moment, Ye Xuan lightly kicked with his right foot. A stone shot toward that area, boom. The entire ground suddenly collapsed. At the same time, countless arrows shot straight into the sky from beneath the earth. In that instant, more than 100 arrows were fired. The tip of each arrow was coated with a green liquid. Clearly, it was a deadly poison. Seeing this, Mo Yunqi's face changed immediately. If they had walked over that spot just now, they would have been shot into hedgehogs. At that moment, Ye Xuan lightly tapped the tip of his foot against the ground, and his body flew directly to the right. Ye Xuan spotted 3 young men behind several large trees on the right. When the 3 saw Ye Xuan rushing toward them, their expressions changed instantly. They exchanged glances and were about to attack when the sword in Ye Xuan's hand suddenly vanished. Immediately after PFFT, the heads of the 3 flew out at once. Ye Xuan tapped his foot against the ground and his body flew forward. His speed became faster and faster. In only a moment, he arrived before a large tree. He glanced at the middle of the tree where there was a very faint footprint. A moment of silence. A sword shot into the sky. But very soon, the Liangxiu sword returned to his hand. At his feet, however, there was now a blood-drenched head. Ye Xuan suddenly stomped on the head and it exploded. Impressive. At that moment, a voice suddenly sounded from not far away. Ye Xuan raised his head. Several dozen zhang away stood a long-haired man. His appearance was rather ugly, especially his mouth, which was missing a corner. His eyes were small like those of a rat, and his entire look was wretched and repulsive. The man grinned. As expected of someone worth so much money, you do have skill, however. This is only the beginning. I heard your younger sister has already been sent into the secret realm. We will be waiting for you inside. If you arrive late, After saying this, he turned around. His figure trembled and vanished. Ye Xuan also vanished from where he stood, but clearly his speed was slower than the long-haired man's. The distance between him and the long-haired man continued to widen. In the distance, the long-haired man turned back to look at Ye Xuan. You had better hurry. Otherwise, I fear your younger sister may end up very miserable. Ha ha. At that moment, a figure suddenly appeared before the long-haired man. It was Mo Yunqi. Mo Yunqi looked coldly at the long-haired young man. You think you are very fast. As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Yunqi suddenly vanished. At the same time, an afterimage appeared. Seeing this, the long-haired man's expression changed. He flew backward and his right hand swept forward. Several silver lights shot out from his palm. In the distance, Mo Yunqi's figure flashed, dodging those hidden weapons. Just as he was about to act, a miserable scream suddenly rang out from farther away. Mo Yunqi raised his head and saw that not far away, the long-haired man lay flat on the ground. His legs had been cut off at the roots by Ye Xuan. Ye Xuan had no intention of killing the long-haired man immediately. He suddenly stabbed his sword through the man's collarbone, then dragged him forward like that. The ground was covered in blood. The long-haired man snarled, "Bastard, give me a clean death, give me a clean death." Ye Xuan ignored him and kept dragging him forward. At that moment, Bai Ze and Ji Anzhi arrived. Mo Yunqi sighed. Why do these people insist on provoking this sister-obsessed lunatic? Sister-obsessed lunatic. After living alongside Ye Xuan, they had discovered one thing. Normally, Ye Xuan was humorous and harmless. But he had a reverse scale, and that was his younger sister. Whoever dared touch his sister would cause this fellow to transform immediately. He was a true sister-obsessed lunatic. Mo Yunqi sighed again. Let us go. Among those who came here, some act openly, but there are also many who prefer the shadows. After saying this, he looked toward Bai Ze and Ji Anzhi. Bai Ze, your body is very strong. Later, stay beside him and block hidden arrows for him. Senior Ji, hurry and contact old Ji. See whether he can find some reinforcements. To be honest, with only the four of us, damn it, I truly feel afraid. Especially since Bandit Yi is not quite normal from time to time. Ji Anzhi nodded. I am already contacting him. Bai Ze looked at Mo Yunqi. What about you? What will you do? Mo Yunqi replied, my speed is the fastest among the four of us. After entering, I will separate from you and search for Little Lian first. I need to find her before those people do. Let us go. That fellow is alone right now and I do not feel at ease. After saying this, the three hurriedly chased after him. Ye Xuan dragged the long-haired young man out of the forest with his sword and entered a plain. The long-haired young man roared madly, constantly begging for death. But Ye Xuan would not let him die comfortably. Ye Xuan suddenly stopped. He turned and looked at the long-haired young man who was still wailing. The corner of Ye Xuan's mouth lifted into a smile. In the past, I was too merciful. That is why they dared bully my sister. From now on, I will not be like that anymore. As soon as his words fell, he kicked the long-haired young man's head hard. Boom. That head flew into the air, trailing blood behind it. Ye Xuan stood there, holding his sword as he walked forward. His eyes were somewhat vacant. Do not worry. I will definitely bring you home. Anyone who dares hurt you, I will not let them go, not a single one. In a canyon stood a blue gate of light. The gate of light was like a vortex, rather mysterious. At that moment, a young man holding a long sword slowly walked over. It was Ye Xuan. Beside Ye Xuan were Mo Yunqi, Bai Ze, and Ji Anzhi. Ji Anzhi looked at the distant gate of light and said, that is the secret realm. Ye Xuan's eyes slowly closed. I do not know what is waiting for me inside, but I must enter. As for you, enough. At this moment, Mo Yunqi waved his hand. You are being too long-winded. Hurry in and draw the fire. Then I will go in and look for Little Lions. Ye Xuan looked toward Mo Yunqi and the others. He said nothing more and turned toward the gate of light. Bai Ze and Ji Anzhi followed. Very quickly, the three of them entered the gate of light. At this time, Mo Yunqi took a deep breath. Little Lion, nothing must happen to you. I still want to eat the food you cook. After saying this, his body trembled and he shot straight into the gate of light, nearby. About half a minute later, countless afterimages flew in from every direction. These afterimages quickly entered the gate of light. Somewhere in the air, an old man stared fixedly at the gate of light below. This person was like Xianxia, the head of Cangmu Academy. Beside him stood another black-clothed person. The black-clothed person suddenly said, this person is not simple. Like Xianxia's face showed no emotion. It is precisely because he is not simple that he must die even more. The black-clothed person remained silent. Like Xianxia slowly closed his eyes. When necessary, spare no cost. In another place atop a certain tree, two old men stared at the gate of light not far away. These two were Jiang Yueshan, the former ruler of Ning Kingdom, and the 9th Tower Master of Drunken Immortal Tower. Jiang Yueshan suddenly looked toward the 9th Tower Master and smiled. 9th Tower Master, Drunken Immortal Tower's choice of side this time truly surprises me. The 9th Tower Master replied calmly, you surprise me as well. You should know that if you lose this wager, your Jiang royal family will suffer Cangmu Academy's mad revenge. Jiang Yueshan smiled. This time 9th Tower Master has wagered quite heavily. How about this? Let us join forces. The 9th Tower Master was silent. Jiang Yueshan said this time, some old undying monsters will come. We can stop those old monsters for him. As for those young people, he can deal with them himself. After being silent for a while, the 9th Tower Master nodded, very well. Jiang Yueshan turned his head and looked toward the distant gate of light, his expression gradually becoming solemn. A wager. This time, the Jiang royal family was making a wager. He was betting that behind Ye Xuan stood a powerful expert, a supreme expert. If the bet was won and Cangmu Academy was defeated, the Jiang royal family would gain enormous benefits. Moreover, they would be able to draw Ye Xuan closer. One had to know that Ye Xuan and the 9th princess had a very good relationship. This time, by openly choosing sides, that relationship would grow even better. With Ye Xuan's talent, his future had no limit. The stronger Ye Xuan became, the more benefits the Jiang royal family would receive. But if they lost the bet, the Jiang royal family would completely oppose Cangmu Academy. At that time, Cangmu Academy would certainly take mad revenge against Jiang Kingdom. Perhaps even joining hands with Tang Kingdom to deal with Jiang Kingdom. They could not lose. Jiang Yueshan slowly closed his eyes. In truth, he did not want to smash the pots and sink the boats like this, but what choice did he have? Jiang Ju had already come to Ning Kingdom. Unless Jiang Kingdom abandoned even Jiang Ju. Jiang Ju standing on Ye Xuan's side was no different from the Jiang royal family standing on Ye Xuan's side. After a while, Jiang Yueshan shook his head and sighed. A grown daughter cannot be kept. Somewhere on top of a large boulder, a woman in a black dragon robe stood proudly. Her hands were casually clasped behind her back, and her hair was left to flutter in the wind. Her entire body radiated an invisible aura of majesty and dominance. This person was Chuoba Yan. Behind Chuoba Yan stood an old man and an old woman. Chuoba Yan looked calmly at the gate of light in the distance. Tell me. That young man knows this is a death trap, yet still comes to save his younger sister. Is he stupid, or is he simply acting on emotion? The old man behind Chuoba Yan said coldly, stupid. This person's talent is probably close to Yunqi's. If he preserves his life, then in the future, destroying Cangmu Academy may not be impossible. Shut your mouth. At that moment, the old woman beside the old man suddenly glanced coldly at him. This old woman thinks you are the stupid one. The corner of the old man's mouth twitched. He did not dare argue, he only snorted coldly. The old woman looked toward the gate of light. Your Majesty, in this old woman's view, this person values loyalty and affection. He can be considered a true man. Chuoba Yan said calmly, I fear what he is doing will only be a meaningless sacrifice. The old woman shook her head. This old woman feels that whether it is sacrifice or not is not the most important thing. What matters is whether he dares to come. If he does not dare come and simply watches his younger sister die, then in the future, even if he becomes a sword immortal, he will still only be a coward. The old man frowned. Can you not be more civilized? The old woman glared at him, then curled her lip and said nothing more. Chuoba Yan stood on the large boulder and said calmly, Aunt Jiang is right. If he does not come today, then even if he becomes a sword immortal in the future, he will not be a man. At this moment, a black-clothed person appeared behind Chuoba Yan and knelt on one knee. Your Majesty, like Xuanking, head of Jiang Kingdom's Cangmu Academy, asks why we violated the agreement and did not send people to surround and kill Ye Xuan. Chuoba Yan turned her head and looked at the black-clothed person. Tell him to get lost. The black-clothed person froze, then turned and left. No one knew how long passed before Ye Xuan suddenly opened his eyes. He was now on a grassy field. Mountains surrounded him on every side, and above him were blue skies and white clouds. A secret realm. In truth, a secret realm was not very different from the outside world. It could be understood as the difference between being inside a room and outside a room. It still existed within the same world, but this area had been separated from the outside by someone using a secret method. At this moment, Ye Xuan frowned deeply, because he realized that Ji Anzhi and the others were not there. Random teleportation. Ye Xuan's brows furrowed even more. He did not think too much and walked forward. His speed was very fast. Right now, he not only had to find his younger sister Ye Lian, but also regroup with Ji Anzhi and the others. He had not gone far when a man appeared before him. This man held a black spear in his hand. He examined Ye Xuan and was just about to speak when Ye Xuan, not far away, vanished from where he stood. In an instant, Ye Xuan crossed several zhang and charged before the spear-wielding man. The spear-wielding young man's pupils shrank to needle points. Immediately after, he leapt upward, and the long spear in his hand suddenly smashed downward. Peak Skysore Realm. Not only that, as the spear fell, a terrifying flame radiated from its tip. In only an instant, the roaring flames enveloped Ye Xuan. But a sword cry rang out, and a tear immediately appeared in the flames. Right after that, Ye Xuan's body appeared several zhang behind the spear-wielding young man. Behind Ye Xuan, the spear-wielding young man stared blankly into the distance. I should have attacked first. Just as he said this, his head tilted to the side, separated from his neck and fell. Fresh blood sprayed high into the air. Ye Xuan lowered his head and looked at his hand. His palm was a bloody mess. Not only his palm, his entire arm was torn open and covered in blood and flesh. In that instant just now, if he had not acted first, he very likely would have died. Even if he had not died, both of them would probably have been seriously injured. That spear strike from the young man had not only carried spear intent. It had also unleashed an earth-rank martial skill. Perhaps even a middle-grade earth-rank martial skill. Because Ye Xuan had acted first and seized the initiative, he had killed the man before the full power of that spear could be released. If the power of that spear had fully erupted, then unless Ye Xuan used the armor of the earth, he would either have died or been crippled. He could not underestimate anyone. Ye Xuan stopped thinking about this. He took out a white jade bottle and poured out a pill, golden wound pills. One pill was worth several 100,000 gold coins. Although he felt some pain at using it, he had no choice. He had to keep himself in the best possible condition. Because this had only just begun. Ye Xuan walked to the corpse of the spear-wielding young man and picked up the opponent's spear. This spear was not ordinary. It was a top-grade spiritual weapon. Ye Xuan stored the spear inside the first floor of the World Prison Tower. Then he removed the pouch from the spear-wielding man's waist, tossed it into the World Prison Tower, and turned to walk into the distance. He moved very quickly, very quickly. In only a short while, he arrived before a river. The river was not too wide, only several zhang across. Ye Xuan glanced at the river, then walked to the bank. Suddenly, he drew his sword and slashed down at the river's surface. This slash came without warning. The moment Ye Xuan's sword descended, a column of water shot into the sky. Immediately after, a figure within the column of water retreated repeatedly. Before long, that figure had retreated to the opposite bank. It was a young man in black. Both his hands were hidden inside his sleeves. He stared fixedly at Ye Xuan. How did you know I was in the waters? Ye Xuan looked at the black-clothed young man. Guess. He was very skilled at killing enemies in the mountains. He understood very clearly which places were useful for ambushes and which were suitable for sneak attacks. After entering the secret realm, he knew he was prey. Those who had entered and wanted to kill him would definitely know his position. At a time like this, he had to be extremely careful. Because if he was careless for even one instant, he would likely die. The facts proved that his caution was correct. Opposite Ye Xuan, the black-clothed young man was about to say something when the sword in Ye Xuan's hand flew out and slashed toward him. The expression of the black-clothed young man changed. Both his hands suddenly closed together in front of him. Clang. Two golden claw weapons locked together, blocking Ye Xuan's Xianxia sword, however. The golden claw weapons immediately shattered. Because the Xianxia sword was a middle-grade bright sword, while those claws were merely top-grade spiritual weapons. At that moment, the Xianxia sword trembled violently. The claw weapons on the black-clothed young man's hands shattered. His expression changed instantly, and he retreated again and again. The Xianxia sword did not chase him. Instead, it slashed backward, cutting down into the river in front of Ye Xuan. Boom. The entire river exploded with a roar. Immediately after, a miserable scream came from beneath the water. Then the river in front of Ye Xuan turned red. In the distance, the black-clothed young man looked at Ye Xuan in disbelief. How did you know? Ye Xuan looked at him calmly. If you did not have help, how would someone as weak as you dare come after me? A monster. The black-clothed young man looked at Ye Xuan with fear in his eyes. The young man before him was not only powerful in strength. His intelligence was terrifying as well. The black-clothed young man said in a deep voice, I withdraw. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly appeared before him with sword in hand and slashed. PFFT. The black-clothed young man's head immediately flew out. Ye Xuan gently wiped the blood from the Xianxia's sword. Sorry, I do not agree. At that moment, footsteps sounded behind Ye Xuan. As those footsteps rang out, the river before him began to boil violently. Not only that, the ground beneath Ye Xuan's feet also began trembling. Will realm. A powerful will realm enveloped the area around Ye Xuan. Ye Xuan opened his palm, and the Xianxia's sword fell into his hand. He looked at the sword and said softly, "No matter who is behind me, let us kill him with one sword. Is that all right?" A moment of silence. A sword cry resounded through the sky. A sword understood a person's will. Seeing that Xianxia had agreed, the corner of Ye Xuan's mouth lifted with a touch of savagery. He turned around and faced a man not far away. The man wore a snow-white robe that reached the ground. 4 plum blossoms were embroidered on it. The man quietly looked at him and said nothing. The two silently confronted each other for a long time. Striking first could seize the initiative, but it could also reveal an opening. Clearly, neither wanted to act first. But this stalemate did not last long because Ye Xuan moved. What did a sword cultivator need most when facing another person? Confidence. That was also what his one sword decides life and death needed most. For this sword, if I do not strike, then so be it. But once I strike, your life and death will be decided. The moment he moved, an overbearing sword momentum pounced forward and enveloped the man, causing the man's pupils to contract in shock. The sword momentum was very strong. The sword technique was not weak either. The man slowly closed his eyes, boom, an oppressive aura, including the pressure of the nether passage realm and some unknown will realm, surged out from his body and blocked Ye Xuan's sword momentum. The man opened his hand, mountain and water roar, boom, boom. The river behind Ye Xuan suddenly trembled. Countless water arrows shot out and rushed toward him. The ground beneath the man's feet shattered, and countless pieces of earth and stone piled up, burying Ye Xuan. At that moment, a clear sword cry rang out. A streak of sword light broke through the layer of earth and stone. Hiss. A sharp whistle rang through the surroundings. A moment later, Ye Xuan appeared behind the man. The water arrows scattered, and the earth and stones shattered across the ground. Everything returned to normal. A drop of fresh blood slowly rolled down from between the man's brows. His lifeless gaze stared into the distance, sword intent. You are not a great sword cultivator. As soon as he finished speaking, life vanished from his eyes. Ye Xuan opened his palm. The Xianxia's sword shot to the man's side, then returned with a money pouch dangling from its tip. Ye Xuan tossed the pouch into the world prison tower and continued on his way. Not long after, a man and a woman appeared. The man was tall and burly. He carried a large saber on his back and a scar cut across his face. The woman was small in build. Her hair was braided into many strands behind her head, and at her waist hung 2 short sabers. The woman glanced at the corpse on the ground. White robe embroidered with plum blossoms. This person should be young Master Snow Plum of Chu Kingdom. At 20, he had already reached the Nether Passage realm and comprehended the mountain and water will realm. He was praised as the person with the brightest future among Chu Kingdom's younger generation. I did not expect him to be killed by Ye Xuan with one sword. She looked at the man. Big brother, although this Ye Xuan has not appeared on the martial ranking, he definitely has the qualifications. We should give up. The man closed his eyes. If we kill him, we can not only become famous, but also obtain the reward from Cangmu Academy. With those things in hand, we siblings will no longer need to wander everywhere. We may even revive our clan. We cannot let this chance slip away, the woman frowned. Big brother, the 2 of us are no match for Ye Xuan at all. The man gave a faint smile. If 2 people are not enough, then call more. Let us go. After saying this, he turned and left. His younger sister lowered her eyes to look at the corpse on the ground, then followed him with a sigh. Ye Xuan crossed the river and hurried forward like the wind. He could not feel at ease until he found Ye Lian. His entire body radiated a fierce and vicious aura. Behind the river was a vast swamp. If he went around it, it would take too much time. And time was exactly what Ye Xuan needed most right now. Therefore, he gave up the option of going around. But he did not recklessly jump in. Instead, he stood at the shore and observed. Around the swamp were sparse trees rooted in the mud, along with various shrubs. After a moment of silence, the Liangxiu sword in Ye Xuan's hand flew out and stabbed into a nearby shrub. Boom. The shrub exploded and a figure leapt backward. Liangxiu did not stop and continued pursuing like lightning. That person retreated in panic, but forgot that he was in the middle of a swamp. Before he could retreat far, he fell into it. He hurriedly shouted, "Sir, I have already withdrawn," whoosh. His head flew out and his body was quickly swallowed by the swamp. The Liangxiu sword flew back to Ye Xuan. He bent his knees and leapt forward. At intervals, the Liangxiu sword would fly out. Wherever there was danger, it would scout ahead for him. Just like that, by the time he reached the middle of the swamp, there were several more corpses behind him. The strength of these people was not weak. Unfortunately, they had underestimated Ye Xuan's ability and chosen to ambush him. If they had attacked directly, it would have been difficult for Ye Xuan to kill them so easily. But they chose to ambush him while underestimating his caution, and he counterattacked before they could react. Suddenly he stopped, his brows furrowing. Danger. Years spent surviving in the mountains and fighting wild beasts had honed a certain instinct in him. He swept his gaze around. He was currently standing on a lone tree trunk. The nearest trunk was almost 5 zhang away, and the one before him was 10 zhang away. If someone launched a sneak attack when he jumped across, he could fly, but he could not gather kai or borrow force midair. His strength would decline greatly. But most importantly, what if that tree trunk vanished? Then he would fly straight into his own death. Retreat impossible. The person who had designed this formation had calculated every retreat route he might have. Therefore, whether he walked or flew, the opponent would certainly be able to respond. Ye Xuan stood silently on the tree trunk for a while. Then, without warning, he leapt up. Just as he was about to land on the tree trunk 10 zhang away, it suddenly shattered. A blurry figure attacked as fast as a falcon pouncing on prey, appearing above Ye Xuan in a flash and striking down with a palm. Lightning flickered in the palm. Ye Xuan rapidly fell. Before he could drop into the swamp, the Liangxiu sword in his hand transformed into sword light and steadied itself beneath his feet. Standing on the sword, he landed on the sword and clenched his fist, throwing a punch upward. This time, one punch breaks your head carried not only fist force, but also battle intent. The moment his fist came out, a sharp explosion rang out. Boom. The man attacking Ye Xuan was blown away. Ye Xuan himself also sank into the swamp, but Liangxiu quickly lifted him back out. He did not continue attacking. Instead, he rode the sword low toward the left. More than 10 zhang away, a man hovered in the air. His eyes were wide as he muttered, "Sword flight. That is absolutely impossible." Ye Xuan glanced at him coldly. Suddenly, the Liangxiu sword turned into a streak of sword light and rushed toward the man, cutting at him. The man's face turned pale and he hurriedly dodged to the right. Liangxiu immediately curved back and slashed at him head-on. The man narrowed his eyes. His right hand became a palm, lightning flashing before he struck. Boom. The moment his palm touched the sword, countless arcs of lightning and sword light flashed brightly. Suddenly, the man's expression changed. He realized that Ye Xuan had somehow slipped behind him. He turned and struck with his palm. Thunder and lightning surged out like a flood bursting through a dam. Ye Xuan's response was still an extremely simple punch. But this punch shattered every trace of the man's lightning and sent him flying. Sword light flashed. The man's face became completely bloodless. Hiss. By desperately twisting his body, he escaped death. However, his entire right arm was still severed. The Liangxiu sword did not let him off. It continued flying back to slaughter the man. At that moment, an aged old man appeared nearby and cried out in panic, "Please stop." We hiss. But before the old man could finish speaking, the man's head had already flown out. The old man's face twisted with ferocity, and his eyes bulged as he glared at Ye Xuan. "You deserve death." Just as he was about to act, a wine gourd suddenly fell from the sky, and the wine inside surged and spilled out. The old man's expression changed violently. He reached out and pushed forward. The space before him immediately warped, bending matter. A 10,000 Dharma realm expert, the air froze for an instant. The droplets of wine seemed to stop. But in the next moment, they violently pierced through the twisted space and swallowed the old man. Boom, 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 boom. Explosions rang out in succession. The old man continuously fell downward. In only a short while, he crashed into the swamp. A moment later, he struggled to fly up, but a black shadow had already appeared above him. Old Ji. The old man, still submerged in the mud, struggled madly, but he could not break free from old Ji's foot pressing down on his head. Old Ji took a mouthful of wine and said, "Leave the old ones to me." Ye Xuan left angrily. Old Ji watched the distant direction and his eyes suddenly grew moist. "Master. This time I will not let my students be bullied again. Just as you protected me back then."